So let's talk about journey versus the end goal. You know, most of us, if not all of us, set so many goals in our life, be that personal, professional, or both. And everybody talks about goal settings. Wherever you go to learn about business, one of the first things they will talk about is the goal settings. But the way we would like to look at the goal settings today is the approach, rather, is a little bit different than what most people teach us. So what do I mean by that? Well, what happens is that most people that teach us goal settings rather will focus us on, let's set a goal, let's create all these steps, let's put a milestone, let's make sure we achieve one by one, a task so we can get closer to our goal and so on. So it's all about that end result, if you will. But what is as important, if not even more important, is the journey that we go through while setting up the goals and while achieving tasks in order to achieve that end goal. That is truly, truly, if not more, then it's as important. Some folks, I know my friend, colleague, Dr. Tal Ben-Shahar, basically says that journey is more important, especially when we talk about happiness. That is more important than the end goal. And when it comes to happiness, certainly journey is the more important. Now, for some of us that we keep setting up the goals and maybe we don't achieve them, then, we may not be as happy with the journey. We really want to achieve that end goal, which is, why we set these goals. So again, it is really important, and we're going to explain that step by step. The journey is very important. A lot of people really don't think about journey. They just think of end goal. And here's what happens. When we focus on end goal and end goal only, we might be miserable for a long, long time until we achieve that end goal. And what happens when we get to the end? When we get to the end, we might be happy. We will be happy, right? Regardless of what goal we set and or achieve. But that happiness, that moment, that will be a moment of happiness rather than enjoying your life while on the journey. So if we look at, let's take a look at this. So if we go and say, well, let's think about goal setting. So what I would like everybody to do is to think about two goals. So identify one personal goal and one business goal. So please write down one personal goal. What is it that you want to achieve? And be as specific as possible. Don't just say, oh, I want to be happy. That doesn't work. You need to be as specific as possible. One personal goal and one business goal. So I will give you a little bit of time, and I might even move a little faster so that you will catch up and you can always come back and watch this video. So let's set one personal goal and one business goal. Now, once you have that, I would like you to identify steps. So what are the steps that you are going to take in order to get to that personal goal and in order to get to your business goal? So identify at least 5 to 7 steps, very specific actions that you are going to take that will get you to the end result. Now, please be aware that most goals, even the small goals, will actually require many steps and many actions and many tasks to get to the end. But for the purpose of this exercise, we ask you to look at 5 to 7 so that you can complete this exercise rather quickly just to get an idea. So now that you identified these 5 to 7 steps for each goal, for personal and for business, now I want you to think about a journey. So what do I really mean by think about a journey? So think about things that you are going not just to do, to feel, to experience while going through these steps. And as we look at a journey, I would like you to think about one of the happiness model that we learned earlier, and it is a PERMA, where P stands for positive emotions, E for engagement, R for relationships, M for meaning, and A for the achievement. So as you think of journey, let me give you an example that might help to identify, to look at the journey, to see what I really mean by this. So when I was writing my book, Habits and Happiness, if you think about, if my end goal certainly was to publish the book, to publish the book, most or all authors, not most, that's their goal is, right? To publish that book. That's the end goal. However, if I was only thinking of that end goal, if I was thinking, oh, it will be great, I'll be happy when I publish that book, it will be awesome, this is going to happen and that's going to happen. And if that was the only goal, if you will, I would be miserable for years because it took years to publish that book, to finally get it out. Now, instead, I focused on journey. I was thinking, what can I do that will improve my overall well-being and my happiness while I am on this long journey of publishing the book? So I looked back and I looked at that PERMA, which is the one of the happiness model that we use. And I looked at it and I said, okay, P stands for positive emotions. What do I do on this journey that brings me positive emotions? And I realized that reading 8 p.m. till 9 p.m., because that's the habit I created, really brought me positive emotions. 8 to 9, that 1 hour of my reading time is definitely one of the many things that brought me positive emotions. And that was part of the journey, right? So I was focusing on these getting daily positive emotions while on journey of publishing the book. Then I looked at engagement or flow. How can I be more in flow? And what do I do on this journey that brings me more flow? And I realized that while I was writing, which was most days from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and of course more, but that was my scheduled writing time. That during that time, I was truly in the flow. I was truly in the flow. I wasn't thinking of the book. I wasn't thinking of the end result. I was in the flow, right? Remember, just like us when we were kids and played the soccer, basketball, football, play with the Barbie, we were in the flow, in the moment, right? So that's how I realized that I can have a more engagement or more flow in my life while on the journey of achieving this goal, which is publishing the book. The next in PERMA is R, which is relationships. So what did I do that will increase and improve quality, if you will, of my relationships? Well, here's what I did. I had the regular meetings with people. I had the lunches. I had the Skype and Zoom calls. I had the dinners. I would go out for social drink. I would meet many friends and people that I do not know. That we would discuss the subject of habits and happiness. And every single time that I would meet with someone, I know that's really what improved my overall well-being by increasing the quality and quantity of my relationships with other people. And again, there could be friends, family, and the people that you do not know. And this is really how you get more of R, if you will, which is relationships. Then it comes to M from PERMA, M, meaning. Now, there is it's a little tricky with the meaning, and here's why. A lot of people think of a big meaning in life. Why am I here? Now, the meaning of this book, the big meaning was for me to leave something behind that will help people even when I'm gone, right? It will help people today. It will keep helping people, and it will help people hopefully for a long, long time, regardless if they just pick up a book or not. But the knowledge gets there, people practice these new habits, and then they knowingly or unknowingly teach other people, the family, friends, and so on. So that was the big meaning. But that meaning wasn't accomplished until the book was published. So now what I did is I looked for, and I highly suggest everyone to do this, regardless what you do, is to look for a little meaning. And when I said little meaning, I mean meaning. There is a meaning behind everything we do. Everything we do on a daily basis, there is a meaning, and we can find a meaning. Now, is it absolutely everything? Well, most things. Is there meaning behind, taking out the garbage? Yes, of course there is. Think about it. Yes, there is a meaning. Is there a meaning of me taking this 60 minutes in the morning, write a book to write, right? And or taking an hour, which is same as 60 minutes, taking an hour in the evening to do my scheduled reading time in addition to any time that I was able to read? Yes, of course. There is. So find a meaning in the things that you do on a daily basis, and trust me, regardless of the goal or without a goal, this by itself will improve your happiness and overall well-being. Now we're going to look at achievement. Again, if you think of the achievement, you could think of, the achievement happened only when you published the book. You can look at it that way, right? But that's not true. Again, that's the big achievement. That's that end goal, right? But I had to look at the achievements on a daily basis. I had to look at every day, by end of the day, what did I do? What did I achieve today that will get me closer to my end goal? And I have achieved a lot on a daily basis for this particular goal. Again, most days, I wrote at least 1 hour a day, right? So that was my achievement. Most days, I met people and discussed the subject. That was my achievement. Most days, I read research papers that would again get me closer to that big achievement. So you have to look at these little achievements that will help you. They will help you with your big achievement. And that by itself will help you enjoy this journey. So as you look at your goal, again, regardless what the goal is, personal, business, combination, you have to not only look at the goal settings, which most people teach these days, and you can find everywhere about goal settings, right? There are so many different ways. You will find a lot about SMART goals. You will find so much. And that's the easy part. You see, setting up a goal, it's easy. creating the action items for the goals is easy, right? It is easy. Now, achieving a goal is not easy, right? Most people set a goal, but they don't follow through. That's what research shows. Now, we know that. We didn't need research to show us that most people set the goals because we've done it so many times. We set the goals, we haven't achieved it, right? Maybe it was just me. Maybe you achieved every single goal that you set, and good for you. But not me. I have set so many goals and I've never achieved them, and there's so many more that I want to achieve. But also the research shows that when people achieve the goal, they are not happier than before. What does that tell us? What does that tell us? You might be working a year, 2, 3, even if it's just a week, right, to achieve one goal. And then what happens? You're happy for that moment. Then you're not happier than before on the long run, right? That's not good. That's not good because, okay, you achieve the goal, and then guess what happens? You're just going to move on to the next one. And if you don't savor these beautiful memories of achieving that goal, if you don't create and enjoy that journey, forget about goal settings. I'm sorry, but look, you might be in a business, and all of us are, one way or another, right? And you set a goal, and yes, you have to achieve it, of course, right? But find a way to enjoy the journey. Find a way to enjoy the journey. So now, look at the goals that you set. So you had you had the two goals. You had the personal goal that I asked you in the beginning to set, and then you had one business goal that I asked you to set. So you have these two goals. Each goal is going to have a number of action items in order to get there, right? A more detailed plan and more detailed and focused action items, and as specific as possible, very, very specific, is the something that will get you closer to achieving that end goal. So now you have these two steps. You have a goals, you have all the actions that you're going to take. And before you even start working on your goal, now I want you to think about the journey. What can you do, even if this goal is so difficult, even if this is something that, maybe you don't even want to do, but it was set by your boss. Look, these things do happen. Sometimes there are things that we have to do, and even if we don't want to, right? Hey, boss set a goal and you want to keep the job, or you have your own business and there is a goal that you just don't want to work on, but it needs to be done. Now, don't be miserable throughout that entire time from the beginning to an end. Please don't do this. Think up front. Don't wait. Don't start going on the task, doing the tasks, and again, just being like so unhappy while working on the goal, which most people do. This is what really bothers me. And there is a way to set that in the very beginning. As long as we set a way to enjoy the journey. So it's really two things. Number one, we need to understand that the journey is as important, if not more important, than that end goal. Journey is as important, if not more important, than the end goal. And then number two, that we find a way from the very beginning, especially for the long-term goals, we find a way to enjoy the journey. We look at that PERMA model. You can look at any model, or you can even ignore any model. I don't really care. Just find a way to enjoy. I looked at this PERMA and I looked at what can I do to increase positive emotions, engagement or flow, relationships, meaning and achievement. And it just gave me a framework, if you will, to help me enjoy this journey. Again, you can look at this model, you can ignore any model. You can ignore all the models. As long as you know what will make you feel good, what will give you positive emotions, because we do know that emotions, we know what bad emotions do to us, right? We do know what stress does to us. We do know that it ruins our health, right? And overall well-being. But we also now do know that the good emotions will improve our health, will improve our overall well-being, will improve our happiness. So while we're working on the goal, why not at the same time work on our overall happiness and well-being? So one more time, set a goal, have a big goals, always have a big goals. In addition to dreams, have a big goals that you know that are achievable. Dreams are achievable too, but sometimes dreams are just dreams and goals are goals, right? Set all the tasks that you need to do in order to get to the end goal. Set all the milestones, put the dates when you're going to achieve these milestones in order to get you closer to the end goal. And always, always, always think about what can I do to enjoy this journey, even if I'm not happy that I have to achieve this goal. What can I do to enjoy this journey so that your happiness will not only last for that moment, but that moment of achieving the goal, right? So the happiness will not only be, okay, the book is published, I'm happy now, and now what? But rather, it will last throughout the journey. So be happy and make sure that you create your personal and the business success and achieve true life success with Life Success Academy.